What's up kiddos, Trowbro is back with another e-learning with Trowbro, and today we're going to be looking at some Shopkins. And I picked out of all the different kinds of Shopkins there are, the Apple one. I think that's one of the most popular ones. I don't know if they have a name. I've never actually seen the cartoon, but I know my kids have a lot of the toys and they're very cute. They're basically just things with faces on them. And you'd think that would be easy to draw, but they're a little bit harder than that. But I'm going to show you how to do it, and let's get started. Alright, so I have my Shopkin on the left and I'm going to start drawing it, but before I can do that, I went ahead and took a red pencil and I traced the simple shapes that make up this picture on the left. And you'll also see that I added a plus. That's going to help me draw all those shapes that I see in the right spot. So, I got rid of my picture of my Shopkin and all I have is that simple outline of the basic shapes that make up the Apple Shopkin. And so now very lightly with my pencil, I'm going to draw those simple shapes. Alright, so first I wanted to draw the apple and then that plus sign. That's going to help me draw these other shapes that I'm looking at. And if you noticed on the left side, I didn't draw any of the details that I saw in those shapes, like the flower or the leaves. I just drew the basic shape. So for the flower, it's a pentagon, and then for the leaves, they're kind of like a triangle-y, oval-y shapes. Now make sure that you're drawing lightly, because we're going to have to erase some of these lines. And for her hands and her feet and her eyes, circles, round shapes, really easy. And then we have all the basic shapes on my left. So now let's bring back up my actual picture of my Shopkin, and then we can start going in and drawing the details. Now one of her most identifying features are Shopkin's eyes, circles. So I'm going to do those first. And so I draw the first line of their iris, and then their pupil, and then that little white spot. That's a glare, because your eyes are kind of like gelatinous bulbs, and they reflect light. So don't forget to do those little bitty reflections. Now don't forget that if you feel like I'm moving too fast, it's okay to pause it, it's okay to rewind it, alright? You're following my lead, alright? But you need to go at your own pace. Now these pentagons that I drew, these five sided shapes, okay, that's really going to help me draw this flower, because each one of these flowers has 5 petals. I don't want to just draw a flower with as many petals as I can. I want to draw it just like I see it, and so I can see that there's 5 petals. So each one of those corners of the pentagon is going to get one of the petals. Alright, so let's go ahead and come down here and draw the other flower, since we're kind of in a flower drawing mood. 5 petals. You can only see partially 2 of them, and the full 3 on the left side. So go ahead and draw those nice round shapes. Keep it simple, not too bad. Alright, so now let's go ahead and draw these leaves. Now if I look at this leaf, it kind of has a line that goes straight through the middle, kind of dividing the leaf in 2 sections. Alright, so once I draw that line, I'm going to use that and kind of help me guide where those lines are coming out of it. Alright, I'm looking at the shapes that those lines are making. I'm trying to copy those shapes the best I can. So I'm looking kind of like a shield shape or a diamond shape. Triangle-y, pointy. I don't know if triangle-y is a word, but I said it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do that on this top leaf too. Draw that line down the middle and go and try to draw those shapes coming out of it. Make sure that you're looking at seeing where those lines are on the left before you draw. It's okay if it's a little off. Just look at it and try your best. Gauge the distance between these lines and make those shapes. Now I'm going to draw this worm that I see on the left side. I didn't draw it with the red. If you don't want to draw it with the worm coming out, you don't have to. But since I see a worm, I'm going to draw the worm. And I can see that the worm is coming out right from the side of that flower's petal. And it makes a little shape. You see a little bit of that green apple in between the flower and the worm. Look for those shapes. Make sure you're trying to draw those shapes that you see. And then this is kind of like looks like a thumb to me. Like a pink thumb sticking out of the apple. So draw like a thumb shape. Now right above that flower on the Shopkin's head is a little brown stem. I'm going to draw that. It's kind of a rectangle shape, or maybe a trapezoid. And just 2 lines that go up, and there's kind of like a curve right there. And then I can draw that little curve that I see. It's kind of like a oval shape right at the end of it. Alright, now let's draw some of these little shapes that we see. The eyebrows. Look how close it is to the leaf right there. And then draw the other one. Nice and smooth. I think one of that makes these Shopkins look so cute is these eyes. Big eyelashes. Super adorable. So I'm just trying to draw these shapes the best I see them. Alright, now let's draw the nose and the mouth. The nose is kind of a little C shape. And then the mouth's a little interesting. It's kind of like a small hill and then a really deep hill. And then the tongue looks almost like a little red dot, like a little cherry sitting at the bottom of her mouth. It's an interesting design right there. Now, if you drew a Minnie Mouse with me like a couple weeks ago, then you've probably drawn a bow before. But I kind of start with the middle shape, and it's kind of like a circle that was kind of had one of its edges chopped off a little bit, and then you draw the actual bow part. So if you can do this, you can draw bow ties for guys. You can draw little bows for girls' hair. It's up to you. Alright, so I'm always trying to draw the biggest shapes that I see first, and all that I see that's really left is the face on my little worm up here and some of those lines. And so let's go ahead and draw those real quick. Alright, now with that done, I think I have all the basic shapes of my Shopkin. So now I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to go through and draw a little bit harder on all of the lines. I want to define each line, make sure it's nice and bold and bright. It's bold, it sticks out, it's vibrant. It gives our picture some contrast. So I'm going to go through, and I kind of start from the top and work my way down. If you're working with a pencil and you start working from the bottom up, you can get a lot of graphite on your hand and smudge it, and we don't want that. Oh, look at this, I kind of forgot to draw the stem of this flower right here. But that's okay, I can draw that real quick. It's just like the stem at the top. It's kind of like a rectangle, and then there's kind of a little skinny oval right there at the bottom to let people know that the stem is kind of a round tube type shape. So I'm going to go on and keep drawing my nice bold black lines, and then I'm also going to fill in the eyeballs and maybe give a little bit of a shade to the Shopkin's iris, so it has a little bit of a contrast there too. And I'm just going to go through here and keep drawing, and ooh, look at that, beautiful. Alright, now this is one of my favorite parts, the cleanup. I get to get rid of all those unwanted lines. Hopefully you were drawing really lightly so that you can erase these lines and not see them anymore. I think that's one of the keys to being a really good artist, is knowing how to draw really lightly, not pressing down hard on your pencil, so that you can erase unwanted lines later. Because what's really important is for you to be drawing those shapes that you see, the general big shape, and then refining your drawing over and over again until you have a nice looking Shopkin like we have here on the right. And look at that, we are done with our Shopkin. That was a little bit harder than I thought. You would think just an apple with a face on it would be pretty easy to draw, but no, with that flower and that leaf, gave us a little bit of a challenge, but that's a good thing. All right, now we know how to draw some leaves and flowers. So I hope you enjoyed it. Well, kiddos, I hope you had fun drawing the apple from Shopkins. Now, I know it was a little bit difficult, but I promise if you keep practicing, you will get better at drawing. Make sure that you're tuning in every single week. Now, as I'm actually recording this right now, I'm actually in Florida right now having vacation. So, if you drew a picture of the apple, have your parents email me right here, and not on my next video because I'll still be in Florida, but the video after that, I will showcase the drawing that you made. So make sure you are sending me emails right here with the pictures that you're drawing, and I will see you next time, all right?